Hello, everybody. Today we are getting back into my painting of cherries. Welcome to Art Prof. We are a global art party. Let's get going with this piece. I just did a pre-mixed palette. You can see the emphasis for today is going to be on this very large cherry, which is very, very flat. And I tried to mix a more muted version of the yellow, and it turns super green. There's that cerulean blue all over again. So I'm going to try to mix another one. I probably have to get in a lot more yellow ochre to get that not looking so green, and also maybe a little touch of red. That should help that get going. And a reminder, everybody, you can share what you make on this live stream in the Discord in the Art Alongs channel. You'll want to go down to live streams here on the left menu bar, and you want to click on Art Along. So if you go here, you can see that already I have shared some images of my palette, and I will continue to do that throughout the stream. Let's get into this piece. The screen is black. I didn't think it was black. All right, well, hopefully that's just you, Neil, because it does look like it's working for me. But maybe if we have some other people watching, one of you can let me know. But for now, I'm going to put on my barrier cream. So if we could get somebody else in. Okay, well, hopefully I'm back. I think I am. I think it was just my connection wasn't so great. Apologies for that. Let me get myself back. Okay, good. Thea. Okay, good. Sorry about that. It's my internet connection is not so great sometimes. It happens. Okay, what I was going to say is I do want to even this out. If you look at this, now that it's been sitting around for a little while, parts of this are shiny, other parts are not. This is where I like to take. This is that solvent-free oil medium. I'm going to take the painting. I'm going to put, oh man, this stuff is not coming out. Okay. Oh God, this is so, oh, there we go. I'm going to put some of this medium onto my rag, and I'm going to rub a layer of oil medium all over the entire thing. This does a couple things. It makes it easier for me to do glazing because you have a layer of medium on top. But also there are some parts of my painting, they've sunken in quite a bit. They don't have that full range of depth of the color. And this is another thing, it just brings out the sheen of the color a little bit better. I'm going to add a little more. I try to do this in between layers. Quick wipe, solvent-free medium. Tell me in the comments, what have you been up to this week? And it's fine if you've done no artwork at all. Tia is asking, what brand is this? This is the Gamblin solvent-free medium. I like it. It's pretty good. Okay. We're going to do some serious work on that cherry because it's really driving me crazy. It's so flat. Out of everything, it's like the flattest thing. Okay. Let me pop in. I'm going to start with this big brush. You guys will notice that I found I actually need to keep my brushes soaked in the solvent-free, no, in the safflower oil, because my brushes got a little bit hard last time, which was bad. Okay, good. Really what I need is to get some dimension in here. This looks opaque, but it actually is not really that opaque. It's very much a glaze. Anytime you add a new color, it is important that you add it to more than one spot. I'm going to take this color and I'm just going to distribute it so it's more evenly in multiple places in the painting. Because if you don't do that, you end up isolating the color a lot, and that's not great. I think this one should have the most of this color. I think the rest of them don't need that so much. I'm just going to work on this area today. Okay, and now, I'm noticing there's a lot of green over here. But what I really need is a muted version of this color. I'm going to take a little bit of the green, put a little touch of the green in there. What I just did is I mixed more with my brush. Okay, that's it's not quite muted enough. Here's the other nice thing. If you do that and you don't like it, you just rub it off. Very easy to do that. Okay, that's a more muted color. The stuff at the bottom, I think it has more orange in it. But it still has that touch of green. Yeah, this is really green. Jeez. I think it needs more green. Right now, because, oh, whoa, that's too green. Okay. Again, so easy to just wipe it down. It's really nice when you have this solid foundation. It's too dark. I think it needs to have a little more yellow. Ah, that's better. Oh, that looks good. Okay, I like that. Because this area up here, it just, so flat. Okay, I think I have too much medium in my brush. I should probably squeeze this out. Oh, shoot. You guys, you should use a clean rag. I already got crap over here. Oh, I really did not finish this. Okay, that spot. Yeah, this is all mushy. I think that highlight's in the wrong place. Oh, yeah, this cherry has to end here. Okay, we got to clean that up. And tell me in the comments, what media are you using this week? Because I'm very much into oil pastel this week. So I did that painting of the bulldog. Oh, I'm missing these green branches. I think I'd better take a minute and get those in there. Oh my god, my rag isn't everything. Shoot. Ugh, it's just so much housekeeping. Ugh. Okay, we're going to mix up just a really, really light green because I just want something in there that looks more green. It's going to be messy. I think this whole area needs... Ugh, I should have finished that drawing part a long ways back. I feel like I'm behind. Yeah, like this whole area has to be redrawn. That's very behind. I really should have taken care of that much earlier. Okay, so there's a whole other stem back here. Do you see how this is really behind? It's like I haven't even done anything yet. This whole area is way further ahead, and that was a big mistake on my part. Right now I'm drawing. I'm not really painting as much. Just trying to get those shapes in. Why did I let that go for so long? That was really dumb. I'm really happy to be painting today, everybody, because I have been burning rubber on that color ebook, which, by the way, is releasing on Friday. Thank God. It's like never going to get this done. But if you sign up in the video description below, you will get an early bird discount. Want to get that in before Friday to get that discount. Oh, now the angle of this is all off. I can already see I made it too diagonal. I like to try to distinguish for myself, am I drawing or painting? This is drawing to me. Just trying to fill in some of these spots. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm missing that whole red cherry in the back. That was really dumb of me to do that. Okay, let's get that red cherry in there. This whole edge. See, I had this highlight here, but that is not happening. Let me zoom in so everybody can see better what I'm doing. Oh man, I did not clean my brushes, everybody. Now they're like, see how the glazes are dripping everywhere? Oh God. Oil painting is just so much cleanup. Yeah, and I hope you are all posting in the Discord whatever it is you're working on. Great place to share. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber and a little bit of a neutral green to get this darker red back here, because this is not, I'm going to make this darker than it actually is. I think that's going to help. But I'm regretting that I let this part go for so long. And now everything's so wet that it's hard to get a handle on things. Yeah, I got to completely get rid of this highlight. There is a highlight, but it's not where I put it. See, I'd rather be working on the fun part, which I can't do because I'm dumb and I did not work on this part. Remember, everybody, if you have a question, please put question in all caps. And if I miss your question, feel free to come in and ask again. Now's the time to pick my brain. I'm so glad I'm doing this. I don't know about other people here, but I'm a very slow writer. And doing the layouts for the ebook, it All right, everyone. We're going to try that again. Sorry about that. My network was not behaving. Let's take a short break and let me answer some questions. Because I already see a bunch right now. Butter is making a willow lantern. And I believe, Butter, that I did see it in the Discord. Let me pull that up so all of you can see that. Butter, I think it's in the Art Dares channel, right? Yeah, the Art Dare is drawing with scissors, everybody. And it's really fun to pop in here and see. This is a collage by Marie. And the prompt is that you can only use colored paper, no drawing. This is by Dana B. And this is really fun, everybody. Do you see the overlapping that's happening? And collage is a lot harder than I think a lot of us thought. Whoa, Butter! Oh my God! How did you make this? Are these branches? That is gorgeous. And I think I saw earlier, oh, here it is. Look at that structure. And then you're going to cut the willow out of that. Oh, thank you for showing up close. This is a great place to be in a group learning environment, everybody. This is Betas, the beginnings of their collage. Oh, yes. So I did see this earlier, Butter. This is the one with the willow. Beautiful work, everybody. I love seeing what's happening. And I think in the Discord, you get a really nice sense of community because you're all working on things together. Okay, let's go into art alongs. Nez, getting started on this piece, have no idea where it's going to go. You know what? I never know. Oh, I love the hand. That's very expressive. And Butter your mom ordered these Sennelier soft pastels. Oh, yum. Have a good time with that. We always like photos of supplies in here. And I'm just going to post here. I had to reboot. I should be back. If anybody's wondering what's going on. Oh, my mic is in a bad spot. Ah, that's ugly. Okay. It's hard to get it in a good spot. Okay. Neil is asking, question for the color ebook. Is there an expiration date to the discount? Signed up, might not be able to buy as soon as it launches because I have to wait for my salary. The color ebook, it's going to release on Friday. Those of you who sign up for the early bird discount, I will send you a coupon code on Friday, and then you'll have a few days to use that coupon, and then it will go away. I guess I should figure out how many days. 4 days. Let's say 4 days for everybody to get that ebook with the discount. It is $25. And oh boy, it has taken over my life. That's what I'm doing all day, every day this week. As I knew if I didn't have a deadline, I was never going to get it done. So I'm really glad. Oh, finally, because it's been lingering for quite a bit. Neil is asking, do your hands get oily when oil painting? I imagine that feels gross. They do, but it doesn't bother me. I usually just wipe my hands down with a rag, and usually that takes care of it. Butter says, They're cherries, but they remind me of the wild ditch plums that grow around here. Oh, that sounds good. What color are they? Butter. I think plums are beautiful. Just so many reds and magentas and purples. Yes, Leah, can work on this. Just wipe it away if I don't like what's going on. Okay, let's get back into this. And remember, you can also ask me questions in the Discord. So you know what I realized when I was waiting things for the connection to come back, I realized that I just had way too much medium and now it's like dripping all over the place, which is bad. I'm going to go back in and add some thicker areas of paint. I did some of that here and that's helped quite a bit, but this whole area over here, I really haven't done very much. Okay, so it turns out I'm not glazing today. I might, but I think there's too many color changes in here that have to happen first. For now, I'm not going to glaze. I may glaze later so I can bring some of these things together. But for now, the glazing is causing more of a problem for me than anything else. So we're just going to take a break from that, even though I love glazing. Super fun. The other thing I'm also doing is I'm trying to add more muted colors because I want the big cherry to really pop forward. But to do that, I'm going to need to make the cherries behind it way more muted. I'm taking the colors that look muted to me, but what I'm trying to do is to make them a little more so, and then I'll pop up the saturation up here. And also, these two cherries are touching each other. I feel like I didn't get that contact point very well. Again, this is some redrawing to make sure that that happens because this one is a lot higher. And I do want to show that compression. I think it's really cute. It's like bursting with cherries. I really like that. So here is redrawing to get that contact point going between the two cherries. It's tricky because they're like right up against each other. Yeah, like the whole shape of this cherry is way off. A lot of repainting, still tweaking a lot. I know it seems like I'm multiple streams into this. It seems for a lot of people that I should have been further along. I'm like, no, I cannot rush this. I'm curious, everybody, what's the longest you've ever worked on an artwork? Because that's a question that I'm finding myself asking a lot in our workshops. Because usually what happens is when I work with people who don't have 50 years of professional experience, a lot of the time people have not had the opportunity to really keep going with an artwork. The keep going part is extremely important because I think we all hit that rough patch, that early stage where we really want to walk away. And by the way, it's not like the more time you spend, the better the pieces. In fact, sometimes for me, it's the opposite. It's like the pieces that I spend a lot of time on, sometimes they are worse than the pieces that I have spent time on, haven't. And so I don't want anybody here to feel like I'm saying, oh, the longer you spend on a piece, the better. But I do think it's a really good experience to have spent a lot of time with something just so you can see what that experience is like. Okay, this is definitely the way to go. I think because I kept my brushes soaking in the safflower oil the whole time when I wasn't painting, I think that messed me up a little bit because my brushes were really, really wet, which was bad. I think that was not a good idea. I'm also thinking about the edges here because, you know something, these cherries at the top, I think these are done. They might need a little bit of work, but I do like some of the blending that I got up there. So that's an area I don't think I'm going to work on very much. Okay, and I need a really deep red. I'm going to get some alizarin crimson. And the alizarin crimson I'm using, this is actually Gamblin. The other colors I'm using are Michael Harding, but I'm using the Gamblin because the Michael Harding set doesn't have alizarin crimson. Let's try a straight alizarin crimson. I'm going to try to get it really, really deep. Let's see if that works. Trying to find a softer brush, maybe this one. Again, I have to squeeze out all that safflower oil, so much of it. Well, maybe I'll add a little ultramarine blue just to give it a little more value. Oh, good. Yeah. That's it. Nice. Yes. Oh, that feels good. I'm going to soften that edge too. Yeah, now it's looking a lot less flat. Okay, I feel better. Because this looked really flat. Out of everything, it was the flattest part of the painting, which is really bad because this is a really important part of the piece. This is the cherry in the middle of everything. And there are these blue highlights. I want to put them in, but I wonder if I need to let this layer dry a little better first. Not totally sure. So we have the neutral colors up here, and then this will be the brightest area. Definitely neat. I'm surprised. I'm finding myself using a lot of green because the muted colors, I'm really missing a lot of those. Down here, I'm going to really punch up some of that muddiness. And here too, this is more like a dark orange that's on this side. There's a little bit of reflected light. So actually the shadow on this side is more like here. Okay, but then you have a little sliver of reflected light. I guess what I'm doing today, I'm just adding a lot of gray tones, a lot of muted greens to get some of these shapes because these still look really, really flat. They're not good, what they're doing right now. Let's pop in some value here. Actually, since we're talking today about the color ebook, which is coming on Friday, by the way, ask me anything about color. And let's get started by everybody telling me, how good do you think your color skills are? Do you feel okay about them? Do you feel like you have no idea, which is fine? Or are you in between? Feel like you know some things, but could definitely use more? Let me know in the comments. This is all turning very orange right now. I think I need to kick up the red. Like especially here, this one cherry has a big patch of red. But that feels better. I feel like there's way more variation in that spot compared to what I had before. I still feel like there's not enough green up here. I'm overdoing the green on purpose. I want it like that because, and I'm just wiping down my brush. Sometimes you can wipe your brush instead of cleaning it. But I got to work on this edge. I think that edge needs a lot of softening. Let me mix together that neutral green with a little touch of alizarin crimson and a little bit of ultramarine, again, for the value, because I really lost the value here. Yeah, tell me what's your stance on color, and then ask me anything about color. What is the thing that you find yourself struggling with? I'm going to try some straight ultramarine. Oh, nice. Okay, that's better. Just felt like it's too much red. So I'm trying to get in with some cooler blues and maybe some cooler purples. This should really pop, that one spot. Let's do like a really nice thick ultra. Ooh, that's got yellow in it. That's bad. Because this should really, really pop. And here I'm going to soften the edge. So that way this cherry doesn't get too sharp. Oh, and this one too. This one really needs some of that neutral. I guess it's like a neutral orange. Yeah, that will really help. Yeah, here. Oh my gosh. I totally did not have that in there. More green. I guess my color of the day is green. Oh, this is still super flat. Maybe I'll add a little bit of a pink up here. Bring that edge back. Oh, and let's bring back some of that nice yellow I had earlier. I think this will help. And let's add a little bit of ultramarine to the green so it's not the same green everywhere. And that should help get that area. I just feel like this is super flat. I'm going to get some of the orange in there. I think I'm using too much of that yellow, becoming too reliant. That edge is really bothering me a lot. That top edge of the cherry, I don't like that. It's bad. Oh, that's better. Okay, let's really beef up the yellow in this center. And we'll get in some nice juicy reds. Bring some of those back. And I think I'm going to add some just straight cadmium red here. Probably needs a glaze to make it a little bit stronger. So let's bring back some of the darker reds. It's hard. You put one thing in and then you think you need to take it away. Okay, let me shoot a photo so everybody can see what this looks like. And this is going to go into the Discord. Let me get that in there. And I'm also going to shoot some close-ups so people can see some of the work more up close. See, I look at this and I still feel like, ugh, not even close. Now you guys can see more the patchiness of what I'm doing here. And then we'll get to your questions. Okay, let's see what people are asking. You can see here, I've posted, this is the entire painting. And then here you can see close-ups of the brushwork. So if you go into art alongs, that is what you will see. Okay. Carrie says, we have a Prunus maritimus that I collect in the summer in New England. Butter says, oh, you think they grow in Salt Lake City? Blooms smell like candy. Ooh, that sounds so beautiful. Salinas says, ceramics have definitely gotten me comfortable with spending more sessions on work. My teapots can take 15 to 20 hours over about a week. Matthew's a slow worker. Sometimes I work on something for 3 months, but I love the process anyway. Yes, that does help when you're going to spend that much time on a piece. Boy, does it make a difference if you're actually enjoying yourself. Me too, Leah. As much as I'm proud of myself for getting in and doing color work for real, my first love is black and white. Who here loves black and white? Because, yes, color is helpful, but I love black and white. Black and white is just, oh, it's me right there. Susan says, colors are rudimentary. Reflected light, blue highlights, gray greens. I could never. You know about reflected light, Susan. That's a first step. The thing that I would say about lighting, if you have blue highlights, which are cool, it means that the shadows are going to be warm. That's a tip for warm and cool colors. Cool shadow means a warm highlight and vice versa. That helped me so much because then I didn't have to think about it. I was like, oh, blue highlight, it's got to be warm. Otherwise, it's just a big guessing game. How many people here feel like color is a big guessing game? Oh, is this going to work? Is this? A lot of it is actually that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily, but for me, what really helped is when I had a better handle on some of the fundamentals, and that let me feel like I knew how to make something. I knew how to make a highlight cool. I knew how to mix a muted color. And so once you have some of those basics, it doesn't feel as much like a guessing game. Matthew says, no idea. Well, that's the beginning. And a lot of us are starting from the beginning. Neil says, are there assignments and prompts? Will those prompts be unique from what's available in the website? We do link to a lot of the prompts that are on the website, but primarily the color ebook is reading and diagrams and examples. Let me show you. This is a sample page that everybody can look at. You can see on the right is the table of contents. I think that is extremely helpful because we've written things in a sequence. So that way, one lesson builds upon the next one. And I think that's very different than the website where we just have a color area. And the color area doesn't really tell you what sequence to go in. And so I think for a lot of people, this is helpful because it's more linear. Of course, there's back and forth, but I think this is very helpful. So what you can see on the left-hand side, it's a lot of writing, specific examples we're trying to highlight where we explain specific scenarios. And then the other thing about the color ebook, which is different, is that it's written by our 7 staff. The website has all kinds of things, but it's written by me. I'm really the only staff member who works on the website. And there are so many things that the other staff talk about that I didn't even know about or even thought about. And so that's another huge advantage is that in the ebook, you are reading 7 different points of view. I think the process it's very personal how each person deals with color. What works for one person doesn't work for another. But I also think what we've worked really hard to add is personal stories, giving examples of situations we got ourselves into, times we struggled, what we did to fix it. There's a more narrative approach. The website is more bullet points, like boom, 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 here are the things, look at this. But I think it's very different when you hear about people's personal stories, and that's really what I'm very proud of that is present in the color ebook. Dice of Words is asking, anyone else struggling with, quote, creating? Copying is fine, but being innovative is hard. Oh, it's very hard. It's the hardest thing. I think what really helps me a lot is to figure out what area you want to tackle. For example, let's say you're a painter, okay? You can say, well, do I want to make work that is narrative, a painting that tells a story? Or do I want to make something that's more symbols? For example, the Dutch Vanitas painters in Northern Europe, they did still lives, but the still lives were all intended to be reminders of your mortality. And so they had things like rotting fruit and bubbles and skulls, and that was supposed to show the ephemeral quality of life. Or if you want to say, you know what, I want my paintings to be about an emotional experience. I want people to look at my paintings and feel something. I think that is very helpful to figure out, okay, what category is that in? And then you can get going. And what I would recommend everybody, really, get into the Discord. This is where you get support. This is where you get those answers. Because Uma's a wonderful mod. I find convenience colors and watercolor sets with a full range of markers because I can see a color when it's in front of me, but not sure how to fix it. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I've really enjoyed working with markers, pastels, because I don't want to mix anything. Like the mixing is very time consuming with color. Oh, actually, I should take a photo of my palette so people can see. I'm using so much of that neutral green. I'm really surprised by that. The neutral green, that's my best friend today. You'll see everything that's on my palette right now. I have these variations of oranges and reds going from light to dark. And then the green is what I'm adding little bits into to get that more muted color. I'm adding a little tint of a straight alizarin, a little bit of ultramarine blue when I feel like I need a real kick of a dark value, but largely these are the colors I'm using. I find with color, if you just have so many colors, it's difficult. Also, I am far enough in the painting that I have narrowed in on a specific area. I'm not painting the whole thing all at once. It doesn't really make sense to do that at this point. Matthew says, painting loosely is where I find trouble with. I'm afraid that my colors will not go well in terms of values. I use black and white, but my go-to is Payne's gray. You know, you could try Matthew, which will be a little traumatic, but it will help you a lot. Remove the Payne's gray. If that's the thing that you rely on, if you take that away, that will make you loosen up because it's not something that's predictable anymore. CL is asking, when do you know you spent too much time in a picture? I feel I often overwork my pieces. The only way that I ever know that type of thing is if I get feedback from somebody else. And that's where I really encourage you guys, get into this Discord because we have so many cool places. Like we have these critique channels where you can post your work, but please note you do have to write these substantial critiques. You do have to write 3 of them. However, if you don't want to do that and you want feedback from the staff, the best thing is to join Art Club. $30 a month. You can get access to programs like Open Studios, where you get to chat with us on voice, and you also get critiques from me. I don't do critiques in the public channels, so this is the best option if you want to get feedback. But honestly, that's really it, because I don't think you can figure that out on your own. I think it's really hard. I think it's very helpful because somebody else can tell me in like 2 seconds. Like I can show that to Kat and I say, is this overworked? And she's like, nope, you need to keep going. Or she'll say, it feels like it, but here's another way to freshen it up, because that does happen. You feel that you've overworked a piece, but actually it's just that you need to pivot in another direction. The thing about feeling like you overworked the piece, you can come back from that. A lot of people feel like, oh, I overworked it, it's over. No, you just have to go back and see a different way into the piece. Carrie says, I find that just working on something every day is helpful. I can't do that. I work on stuff so intermittently. Like I was doing some of those fumage tests. I haven't touched it in 2 weeks. It's fine. Whatever works for you. Yes. And Susan, if you go to artprof.org, let me show you exactly where that is. The best way to use our website, everybody, because it is so gigantic, is go to the search bar. And if you just type in, Susan, warm and cool, that will take you to this page. And then the nice thing about this page is we have multiple resources. For example, these are some shorts, some related videos. This is the video on warm and cool. And also we have things like bullet points, things to remember about warm and cool. And then we also have a slideshow. I find the slideshows very helpful because then it's faster than watching a video sometimes. And you can just see so many examples of warm and cool. We also have these fun diagrams. Yeah, go to that website, Susan. It's a lot of fun over there. How many people here have used the website? And if you have used the website, what have you used it for? And remember, everybody, we are doing registration for our May and June workshops. That is due 2 Fridays from now. That's where you get to work with me in a small group, 2 weeks of audio critiques and a 3-hour live session. Let's go to more of the comments. Great questions, everybody, about color. Keep them coming. Because chances are, if you are wondering about something, somebody else will benefit from you asking that question. Aaron is asking, do you see color as something you work with more separate from value, or do color and value need to be in constant conversation with each other throughout the process? They work together, value and color. But that doesn't mean you need to work on them at the same time. Sometimes I'll look at a piece and I'll say, you know what, I'm going to work on value for a little while. I need to add some punchy darks and I need a couple of bright highlights. There I'm not thinking as much about color. I certainly am in that I can look at a highlight and say, oh, I want to tint that a little blue. But that's not the same thing as color, where I'm saying, you know what, this red needs a little tint of a neutral green. Like that's a color thing. Ultimately, yes, they do go together, but I do find that I can't do everything all at once. If I'm going, oh, what's the color of this? But the value should be that. Like that's too much for me. Today, I'm working on color. I'm doing a little value, but not very much. It's mostly a color thing for today. Dice says it's amazing how far Art Prof has come. Oh, you were there at the beginning. Happy to be back. Fantastic. Oh, God. We started in 2014. Tell me in the comments, what year did you find us? I know a lot of people found us during the pandemic. But wow, when people tell me I found you in middle school and I just finished art school, that blows my mind that we've been around for so long. A lot of it is just me being stubborn. People telling me I can't do it. I'm like, I'm going to show you. Spite. It's all about spite, everybody. Okay, let's get back into this. Okay, I think I need to pump up some of the red. I think I'm going to go in with a very intense cadmium red. I feel like this red is not very intense. Oh, there's, what the crap? Look at that. There's like freaking cerulean blue all over this brush. Ew. Cerulean blue, you're a pain in the ass. But also, I have not cleaned very much, and so my painting table is a bit of a wreck. This is why, as much as I like oil painting, it's such a pain in the butt. It's just way too many things that have to be cleaned all the time. How many people have used oil paint? Tell me yes or no. Or how many people want to but haven't had a chance? It is a lot of work doing oils. Okay, yeah. Ooh, nice. Okay, we're bringing in some nice rich reds. Yeah, I think I jumped the gun on the glazing. I think I shouldn't have done so much at the beginning. I think there are too many color things that I wanted to work out that have to happen first. I might add some of those highlights. I feel like it's getting in the way. I'm still not happy with that edge. I wonder if it is too much neutral green. I think I need more variation, but it still looks like super flat. I'm not happy with that. I think maybe I need more dark red up here. I think it's getting too light. I need like red. Ugh, I think I need that alizarin crimson. It's too light, the red that I have right now. So I'm just going to go in with a straight alizarin crimson. And I'm also going to go in with a rag and remove some of this. I think there's too much of that orange. And you know something? I'm going to go and I'm going to soften these edges. I think that's going to help me. I think the edges are making it look flat. Oh yeah, that's better. That looks very flat. I got to work on that edge. At the very least, I want to end today with that looking more dramatic. Because I can always put a glaze over some of these things. So keep those color questions coming, everybody. And actually, tell me where you've studied color. Have you studied it by watching videos online? Have you looked at books? Because you can learn color in so many different ways. It's getting there. I'm still not super happy with it. I mean, when am I ever super happy? Usually not. Usually a state of, oh God, please work. I'm trying to figure out, maybe I'm like missing some reflected light up here. This reflected light definitely needs to be more. There we go. Okay, I feel like I'm getting into my groove. Took a little while because of that internet disruption. Yeah, my spouse came up. It was like, I have to reboot. I'm like, no. But then I was like, oh, it's not working anyway. I guess we should reboot. Here I'm scrubbing some of the color away. I think I am going to do the highlights. I think next time I come back to the painting, I do want those highlights in place so I can get them going. I really held back for a long time, but I think I need it now. It's looking a little better. Oh, actually, there's reflected light here too. Oh, that's it. Okay. Little touches of it, not a lot. Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay, that I really like. But now we got to bring back some of that alizarin crimson because we did lose that. I'm going to add a little bit of ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue is so nice because it basically does what black does, but without making it so dull. How many people here mix your black? My favorite black is Viridian and alizarin crimson, all the way. If I want one that's super dull, I will use burnt umber and ultramarine blue, but it's not really my favorite because it is very dull. That's why I end up using it. It's just when I want to really dull things down. Oh, yay, this is coming together, everybody. It's hard when you've been away from a piece for a long time. It's very difficult to get back into things. Oh, yay. Oh, I'm so much happier, everybody. That really made a big difference. I do need to get, see, this one's very thin. This one, I've like barely touched this cherry. The other one's a little better, but this one's a little bit of a mess. I'm going to make it darker than it actually is because I don't want it to distract from the big cherry. And again, thinking about those edges, I'm going to go in with a smaller brush because I do want to pop out some of this reflected light. But again, that's looking a little... I'm thinking a lot about the edges. The edges are frustrating me a little bit. Because to me, the edges, they really make a big difference because they allow the painting to sink into the canvas or panel in my case. So here I'm losing the edge because the orange is about the same value as the green in the back. I still have an edge, but because the green and the pink are so similar in value, you still get that separation because of the color change, but you also lose that edge. And that is a really fun way to do things. Oh, I still feel like I keep losing this dark alizarin crimson. I have to keep putting it back. But a lot of painting is like that. You take it away, put it back, take it away again. I don't like this edge. I think it's too bright. It's darken some of this stuff. Oh yeah, now it's okay. It's starting to happen. Slowly, slowly. Do we have some color questions in there, everybody? Because the thing about color is you can read about it all day. But again, it's like the critique thing. The only way to really find out what you need is to ask somebody. And so usually what I recommend is, okay, go do some study and then come back and ask your questions, because that's a big part of learning. I think if you don't have somebody to ask, it's so hard to know what to do. And that's why you should come here. Well, you're all here. You all did a good job coming here. You come here, you ask those questions. Learning has to be like that. I think sometimes it's easy to feel like you should be able to do it all by yourself, but you can't. I don't know anybody who can. Asking those questions is so valuable, everybody, which is why I'm encouraging it. Doing a little blending here. Gosh, maybe I'm just going to work on this one cherry. Who knows? But see down here, this is all color. Because if I made this part black and white, that bottom of the cherry, it would all just look gray. But because I have a color change going from red to green, that is color. That is not value. Value is like I'm adding this stuff up here at the top. Which, by the way, I never came back to. And I do think this part is important for me to do. I'm going to do some burnt umber and some ultramarine blue, so we get something really nice and dull back there. Because this actually does impact the edge of that cherry quite a bit. And up here again, softening that edge. I'm all about edges, everybody. Because that's what I didn't do. I think in art school, I think I was drawing a lot with paint. I think I wasn't really painting. Okay, and this is going to help me up here to soften that edge. Still not super happy about that spot. That one edge is sort of annoying. If I brighten up some of this. Okay, I think I do need to go in and add some of those highlights. Let's do it. Okay, but first, let me see what people are saying in the chat. Oh, and I owe you guys a photo in the Discord. Let's get that in there so you guys can see the progress. And again, I'm going to zoom in so everybody can see what's happening. Again, this is going into the Discord in the Art Alongs channel. Okay. Allison says, I love that oil is forgiving with my mistakes. Oh, you can just keep going with oils. That's the thing. Sometimes I really like printmaking, because printmaking, you pull it from the press, you're like done. Painting, it's like you can just keep going. Oh, yay. So glad to have you here, Manette. Did some digital art during the training. At least it was productive. Erin says, have you ever made a color decision in your work that really surprised you? I think I'm always surprised. I know that's sort of a weird thing to say, but I'm not somebody who is looking for this color combination. I'm looking for an effect. I'm looking for the green part on the right side of this painting to have a luminosity to it. How I make that luminosity in terms of color, it just really depends. And so that's one thing that I always have in mind is, what is the bigger picture? Okay, I want the cherries to look very plump. I want them to look like they're bursting. And I want the leaves to feel more mild and more light. And then what are the color decisions I make? Those really vary a lot. So I don't think I have one scenario that I can point to, but every time I do a piece, it never comes out the way that I thought it would. Because you sit down and you do a piece, you're like, oh, okay, I'm looking for about this thing, but it oftentimes turns into something else. I love that. I know some people will tell me that they're not able to paint what's in their head. I don't want to have an image in my head when I sit down to work. I have an approximation. That's not the same thing as, okay, I want to be able to paint that one thing in my head, because I think that does limit you quite a bit. Butter says, what is the difference between drawing with paint and painting? Really good question. Painting to me is when I've got my brush and I'm really manipulating the brush in different ways. I can show the brushstroke more. When I'm drawing, I'm usually holding a thin brush and I'm usually holding it like this, because those stems that I had in the back, I hadn't painted them. I wasn't manipulating my brush very much. I just was like putting in strokes so I could have them there. That's my way of doing it. But I have talked to Kat about that in the past, and she told me that she does feel like she draws with painting more. So I think a lot of it is about your brush technique. Is your brush technique really wild and spontaneous? Like, to me, that's a painting thing. Not to say that all paint strokes have to be wild and out of control, but for me, the drawing is all about control. It's like, okay, I want this leaf here. That's what it is. With painting, I let go of a lot of that control. Okay. Let's get back into this. Of course, now I want to work on the other ones more. I'm going to do a little work on the other ones, and then I'll come back, and then I'll add that other stuff. Okay, let's get a bigger brush. Okay, this brush is kind of big, but I'm going to use it anyway because I think I need it right now. Okay, a lot of orange in this one. Oh, I'm so glad I'm using the big brush. Oh, that does feel better. Good. I should have been using the big brush earlier. I don't know why I wasn't. It's way more efficient. See, I can't take my own advice, everybody. I'm like, everybody, you need to use a big brush. And I'm like, not doing it. It's much easier to give advice than to take it. I think that one needs a lot of green. Especially on the edges. There's so much green. It's very visible. Like, especially here, this is like, oh, whoa, that is really dark. Okay, I don't want something that dark. See, that's a value decision, what I'm doing right there. This is value as well. I'm just adding some darks. And here I'm more pushing the paint around, taking the paint that's already there, and I'm like pushing it into place. That is also a very much a painting thing when you're pushing the paint around like that. Okay, now this is a very light green, so I'm going to get some cadmium yellow, some cerulean blue, and some titanium white. We're going to get some lighter greens going on down here. Because, yeah, this green over here is pretty significant. And I'm going to go in with a clean brush. Actually, that's not so clean. Whoops. Okay, but I do want to take a rag and maybe blend that edge. What I'm trying to do today is all about color changes and some redrawing. but the color changes are what I'm after. Another reason why is because I feel pretty good about the value. Yeah, this one doesn't have a lot of variation. It's a little flat. I'm going to punch in a couple more of these yellows. So you can see this one doesn't have a wide range of value compared to the big cherry, and that's going to make it not pop out so much. Oh yeah, that looks better. Okay, I want to do a little on this one because I don't want this one to disappear. Oh, way too light. Let's get some nice rich reds. Like there, especially. And maybe just some straight cadmium red just to pump up that saturation. It's a little too dark. Oh, and these two are like fusing. I don't want this one to fuse with the other one. Oh, you know what? I got to redraw the big cherry. Oh my gosh, the shape is not that good. All right, we need to make it a little wider on this side. Oh, geez, I'm so glad I saw that. And this top is not like that. It's a little bit too even. Oh boy. Oh, I gotta change this whole side. Gotta move over this shadow. Yeah, see, it's never too late to make these changes. Okay, so that was a drawing change because I had to redraw the edge. Oh, I like that better. Oh, okay. And then that also brings this down a little bit. Okay, and let's get a little more of that neutral green. We're going to just clean up this edge. And I really should come down here too, because I want to look at the connection between the two cherries. Oh man, you guys, I'm so glad we have a paint-along today. In case you missed it, everybody, that color ebook, it is coming on Friday. And that's why I'm just working really hard to get that out for everybody. And it's bad because I'm so compulsive about certain things that there's probably a million things that I don't need to do for the ebook that I'm doing anyway because I can't help it. So there's so many things. I'm like, oh, I really should cut corners here, but I can't do it. I don't think I'm capable of cutting corners. It's really bad. It's not very efficient time-wise. That's the thing. But I can't help it. It's really hard not to. That's better. Let me scrub this edge a little more. I feel like this spot is getting a little too harsh. Let's just make that edge softer. Oh, shoot. No. Because you want a clear edge, but you don't want things to fuse. I feel like this one's fusing with the top cherry, but I'm not super worried about it because we're going to add some highlights that are going to fix that pretty soon. Okay, that brings back the edge of that cherry. Good. Okay, a little more on this one. I'm going to make it too red to begin with. Oh, I guess I shouldn't ignore this one either. Yeah, this one's really red. This one I'm going to keep super neutral. I don't want it to pop out very much. And I'm also going to just do a lot of dark stuff back there. Let's add some really dark green in here. That's going to really push it back into space. Bring that green down. Yeah, so that makes it a lot less prominent. And then I'll add a little bit of some of the pink. There are some patches of red, but I think I want to save them for down here. This one has a lot of highlight. A lot of this stuff will get resolved once I get some highlights in there. Okay, this is way too bright. Because what I'm trying to do is push that cherry way back. I don't want it to pop at all, which is why I'm really pushing the dark here. So this is where I have to depart from the photo. Like the photo does not look like that, but I know I need it in order to create that impact of the big cherry coming forward, the small ones pushing back into space. I'm also looking at the connections, like how does one cherry get to the other? Gosh, I guess I'm just obsessed with edges. I think edges are very important. Yep, still scrubbing, everybody. This brush is, I wouldn't say it's my blending tool, but I'm using it to make the brush strokes less clear cut. I don't want them to be that way. Because this is not a painting where I really want to show my strokes very much. The figure painting that I did from the painting marathon, yes, that's a place where I really want to show my strokes, but this is one where I want things to be a little bit softer, and that's important to realize. Like, you don't want to just use the exact same brush technique on everything. Some straight alizarin crimson here. Well, that's kind of fun to scrub that edge. I'm going to lose this edge entirely. I might bring it back, but we're going to just do that. Oh, I like this brush. This is actually an old crappy brush, but it's doing exactly what I want it to do right now. It's really nice when brushes cooperate, because they often don't. Oh yeah, they look more gelatinous. Oh good. Oh, I'm happy. So right now I'm not really doing strokes. I'm more just like scrubbing the surface. I think I lost a lot of the red. I guess I'm using a lot of alizarin crimson today. I love alizarin crimson though. It's like it cannot go wrong. Okay, I think I'm going to just do some highlights in a minute. Just want to get this cherry looking a little more cohesive. It was a little too strokey before. course, now it's really flat. I have to bring these back. Hope you guys are seeing how much back and forth there is. Put something there, you take it away. Okay, and I do need to bring back some of this richer red. It's on the right-hand side. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to do those highlights soon. Let's see what's happening in the Discord, and then we'll take a look at your questions. Okay, in the Discord, oh wait, this is the critique channel. The channel we are in is Art-alongs, everybody. Oh, this is something, okay, that's not related. Okay, cool. Let's go back to what people are asking. Aaron is asking, the opacity of hues was something I wasn't even aware of until recently. Is this important to the basics of learning color and choosing a palette? Yes. The opacity makes a really big difference in terms of how a color comes across. For example, if you want to like beef up an area to make it super luminous, I always have a lot of white. I make it very opaque. And then other areas that I don't want to look so heavy and solid, I'll add transparent paint. The key thing for painting is to have a little bit of both. Now you can do them in different proportions. You could say, okay, I want mostly opaque with just a little bit of transparency. You can do vice versa. You can do 50-50. But the way a color comes across absolutely has to do with the opacity. Because if you have a color that's very thin, it's not going to have the weight and presence that you may want it to have. Okay, let's do some highlights, everybody. Whew, I've been looking forward to the highlights, but now I'm like, this is a little stressful. I'm going to put them on pretty thick, but you know what? Before I do that, I do want to make everything a little softer. I'm going to do some blending because I don't, again, want my brushstroke to show here. This I'm just going to cover back here. I'll come back to that next time. Actually, maybe I should work on it. Yeah, I think I need some greens in here. Yeah, and because I should add the highlight that's back here too. Okay, there'll be a highlight here, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm getting all the paint out of this brush, and I'm just going to go in and soften these edges. I'm not thinking about color. I'm just trying to make sure I don't have like brush strokes showing. This is a painting I don't want my strokes to show. The one of the male figure, yes, that one is very much about showing my strokes. So some of this is becoming quite transparent because when I spread out the color, the paint is not as opaque, which is fine. That's what I want. I'm letting some of these edges soften. Oh my God, there's crap in my rag. It's nice though. You can just put stuff on top, just wipe it away with a rag. I'm going to bring back a little bit of orange here. I think this got a little lost. And these are not remotely where I want them to be, but I need to get those highlights in. I think now it's actually like a distraction that they're not in there. A lot of blending right now. Blending and edges. That's what I'm doing. Ooh, I like how I'm losing these. Ooh, this is nice. Oh, I like that part, you guys. So you can see a lot of these spots very, very close in value. Some of them are a little too much. Like I really should go back and bring this back. This one little spot I lost. Like I really do need the articulation between these. Otherwise they look like they're merging together. So we're going to bring back a little more clarity in that spot. Yeah, I like that these are really close in value. That's something I really picked up from gouache, because gouache makes that easier. And I think in retrospect, I have been far too reliant on value to do everything for me. And so gouache really helped me understand that. Oh, it's so nice to be able to wipe away all of your stuff. I'm going to bring back a little bit of value down here. I think I lost some of that. Again, some straight alizarin crimson. It looks very blendy and too soft, but I think that's okay because I'm going to be adding those highlights pretty soon. The highlights will bring out a lot of articulation that I'm not getting right now. Tell me in the comments, do you guys like paintings where you can see the brushwork, or do you prefer paintings where the brushstroke isn't visible? The artist who was very good at hiding every single brushstroke was, I'm totally going to say this wrong, was Ang. Ingres. Was really good at that and makes paintings that will make you faint. They're so freaking good. I'm going to bring back there's a little bit of green down here that I lost. I want that to come back. Oh, very, very smudgy. I am making things way mushier than I want them to be, but I think that's okay because I will come back and do more. God, it's like with every layer, see more and more things that need work. So I'm curious, do you guys think I'm close to being done? Because I feel like I'm not even close. This one's taking a really long time. I feel like the tree painting I did during the marathon, I think that one is close to being done, but this one, God, this one's going to need a lot. Okay, losing the edge here because I will bring the edge back when the highlights come in. I think this edge is looking too harsh. So I'm going to add some lighter highlights so it's closer in value to the green that's in the background. Let's smudge that a little bit. Ooh, that was so easy. That was incredibly easy. Wow. I had like no trouble doing that. I'm going to get a little bit more value here. I think this is starting to look really flat. Because, you know something, the cherries have like little dots on them, which I do want to do, but it's way too soon. That's like the very, very last thing that I'll do. Okay, some more smudging up here. I think we might actually be ready to add some of those highlights. I think one more pass of alizarin crimson with a little bit of blue because we want this like quite dark. Well, maybe not that dark. But I do think this cherry is looking way less flat. I think it was so flat before. Just bringing back some more straight cadmium red. I think this is getting a little pasty, and some of this red is going to help. Okay, it's a little patchy. I don't think I like that so much, but we'll just save it for now. We'll come back. I feel like I'm losing my orange, though. Let's put in some nice opaque paint to bring it back. So this is all opaque, what I'm adding right now. But it's getting a little thin because I'm spreading it out quite a bit. Okay. A lot of blending. I think we're almost ready to get in those highlights. Oh, it's going to be so satisfying. I love adding highlights. Highlights are the best. Especially when they're like super dramatic, like they are here. This edge has been really bothering me. I'm just going to soften it like crazy. I know it's not like that in the reference, but I think it's giving me a lot of trouble right now. Maybe let's get a little sliver of orange back up here, bring back some of the edge. I don't know. It's like there's so many more color changes here than I thought. This is easy to look at it and go, oh yeah, it's red. It's red and orange, right? But it's not. There's so much more involved than we think very often. Trying to show the pattern. It's hard because a lot of this, you've got an actual color pattern, not just color. Ooh, I'm very proud of myself for adding this low contrast area. And I think this edge needs to come out more. You get that separation between the bottom cherry and the big one. A little more yellow. I'm so close, you guys. I'm so close to adding those highlights. It's just I keep seeing things that need work. I'd rather overblend than leave the strokes, because if I leave the strokes, they're so much harder to get rid of later. This spot I probably will do a dark glaze later on. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop. No, this is bothering me. This whole bottom area, it's way too dark. Yeah, that'll bring it down. Well, it'll bring it closer in value to the green in the back. And I think that will be important later on. We're just going to blend that edge. Oh, yes, that's much better. Okay. I like it when I see progress. Actually, I'm wondering, because we determined in my family yesterday that there are 2 of us in the family that really need validation, like me. And then there's the other 2 of us in my family who don't really care. So I'm wondering, as an artist, do you guys feel like you seek that validation? Because I think a lot of it is that artists just want to be seen. We want people to acknowledge what we're doing. And that's why the Discord, I think, has been very helpful for a lot of people. All right, we're going to do it, everybody. We're going to have those highlights. Oh, God, this is a little stressful. I'm going to mix up. where's my stupid scraper? Table is kind of a mess right now, and I can't find anything. I just had it. Where is it? Why can't I ever find the thing that I need? I know I had it. Yeah, I actually do have to clean up a little. Oh, here it is. It's underneath all the rags. Okay. We're gonna mix up. Ah, crap! Oh my god! Thank God I caught that. Like my palette almost like flipped over. That would have been a nightmare to clean. We're gonna mix up a cool blue highlight and a yellow highlight. And get those two in there. Oh my god, my yellow is like soaking in safflower oil. It's really dumb. Okay, so we're going to take the white. We're going to have one that is a little bit blue and one that is a little bit yellow. Well, actually, maybe I should make them cool because of what I said earlier. Warm shadows. Yeah, I'm going to just do cool. We're just going to do cool highlights. I'm going to use a tiny bit of cerulean blue. I know the cerulean blue is way too powerful. So we're going to try this. It's going to be too much at first, but I'm going to do glazes over it. So they might be startlingly bright, but I'm okay with that. Okay. Let me just clean this brush. This brush has crap all over it. This is safflower oil. It's inside my silicoil brush cleaning tank. And it has a nice soft coil at the bottom, which helps me work out the paints. Okay. Whew. Time for those highlights, everybody. I'm a little nervous. Okay. These are going to be nice and opaque. They're not going to be transparent at all. Oh God, that is really startling. Actually, I should take a picture so you guys can see what that looks like. That one speck of blue that's in there. I'm going to just toss them all in. And then I'll go back and smudge them in a little bit. Ooh, this is fun. This is the part I always look forward to, this part. Adding the highlights. It's like when everything happens. Oh, that's really fun. Oh my God. Oh, I love this. It's so cool. Adding those highlights. Oh, nice. Some of these will not be quite as bright as I want them to be, but again, I'll do the glazing on top. And some of these are really, really small, like up here. This brush might be too big, but I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm trying to put down strokes that follow the form. Okay, there are two down here that are like really bright. So that's very opaque, what I just put down. Nice. Oh, I like this, you guys. This feels good. I am thinking about the direction of my stroke. Yeah, wow, there's a lot of like, I know they look really ugly right now, everybody, but It'll get there. It really will. And then in another version, I'll go over some of the highlights so some of them are not so pronounced. Because right now they're very pronounced, but I don't want to leave it that way. Ah, so nice. This is sort of like, you guys know when you do a portrait and you get to paint like that one dot in the eye. Like, that's so fun. That's like my favorite thing. This I'm going to make like nice and thick. Oh, wait, that's too thick. Okay. So I'm trying to distinguish because there are some highlights that are a lot softer. There are some that are like a dot. It's a really bright one down here at the bottom. How are these looking, guys? Was this the right time to put in these highlights? Oh, it's too thick. All right, I got to work. I have way too much on my brush right now, so I'm going to just go in and put some highlights that are a little bit lighter. This one has a very particular shape. So what I'll do is I'll add a whole bunch of highlights, and then I'll come back next time and make some of them more opaque. This one has a lot of them, actually. And there's a super bright one at the top. So that one's going to be very opaque. Oh, there's like a little hair in here. Gross. So you can see this is now bringing out not just the sheen, but also the form. Because I want these to be like really thick later. But I don't want to do that all at once. That's a bad move. Oh, I really need to use a smaller brush. It's way too big. Small brushes. Is this one clean? Nope. Okay, this I'm going to get rid of with a rag. It's a little too much. Oh, come on. Okay, that's going to help me with that edge. Moment of truth. It looks terrible right now. It's fine, though. They have to look terrible in the beginning. So I would say this highlight and then this one, those are both really thick. This one too. And these at the bottom are also very thick. Oh, wait, this one I didn't add anything. It's really, really weird. Let me just take a photo so you guys can see what that looks like, because it looks really weird right now. Okay, I'm just going to pop those into the Discord so all of you can see. Okay, now I'm going to get a very clean brush, and we're going to go in and we're going to blend a couple spots. So again, this is like the scrubbing that I told you guys about, where I just want to get some of the highlights to be a little bit less pronounced. So they're there, but they're not really visible in the way that they are right now. except for the ones that I like really want to pop. This is hard because I don't want to disrupt the colors that are in there. Because the highlights, they do have to be present, but you don't want them to interrupt what's happening. So right now there's a lot of highlights where I don't want them, but I'll go back and I'll do a glaze after this layer dries. Yeah, so now it's starting to get some sheen. It's hard because you don't want your highlight to like spread too much. If it spreads too much, the colors start to disappear and then all my reds are going to be blue, which is bad. So I'm more sketching, scrubbing around the edge of that highlight. And some of these might just like be totally repainted later, which is fine. So when I go back on top of this, I'll add that final like really opaque layer. So a lot of these they're getting dark. I don't want them that dark, but they will get fixed later on. Oh, it's so fun. See, it was all worth it to come back and make these changes. This is the type of thing like you delay having to do this for a long time, but then when you come in and do it, it's like, it feels great. And I'll go in and I'll do a little more, bring back some of those reds that I'm losing. And I'm not looking at the reference photo much. I'm more just trying to see where I want that shift. Yeah, very scrubby right now. This one got way too bright. So this one I'm going to push down a bit. Oh, nice. Yay, it's happening. Oh, they're starting to get that like really nice like sheen. Ooh, so fun. I need to do a lot of cleanup down there. Yeah, today's all about blending, everybody. Keeping things soft. How many people here do blending? I always felt like when I was younger, I did way too much blending. And it always messed things up. But now I don't do much blending. I think this one is an exception because I'm doing a subject that, in my opinion, really needs that. I mean, I guess you could paint cherries gesturally if you really want, but for me, that wasn't my first impulse in terms of this work, this image. Yeah, a lot of these are starting to look a little chalky. I will go in later and maybe put like a light blue glaze on top because I don't want them to be like that. So a lot of the highlights, they're getting blended more than I want them to be, but I will go in and fix that. They look really weird. Trust me, they're not going to stay that way. They look all weird and smudgy. Okay, we're going to go and we're going to smudge a little more. And then that will be the point where I can step back and do changes next time. Because now everything's too bright. I have to bring back some of those dark values. It's getting a little messy on this edge. Yeah, a lot of these reds are getting lost. That's fine. They'll come back later. Oh, it feels so messy. Yeah, they look very peachy right now. It needs like a glaze to just like bring everything together. So I think that's what I will try. Remember, everybody, you can get an early bird discount on our Beginner's Guide to Color ebook that is coming Friday. You need to sign up by Friday in order to get that early bird discount. We also have spaces left in our crayon workshop coming up soon, and also our marker workshop, and the May and June workshops have been announced. Take a look. They're 2-week experiences with audio critiques and the 3-hour live session. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.